guys, welcome back to my channel, The You in Fashion. My name's Megan. On my channel we discuss fashion, luxury, handbags, and lifestyle. So if you're interested in any of those topics, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notifications bell down below so you don't miss any of my content. In today's video we will be discussing whether you should purchase luxury handbags with the intentions on using it as a investment piece. And you guys know I would never come on here with a topic this bold and not have facts to back it up. So of course my answer to this is no. You should not purchase a handbag now or probably in the future unless things change, or an investment piece. It is not similar to a home in that you purchase it and then it continues to rise after that point, unless of course we know that the Hermes, Birkin, and Kellys are in a class of their own, and yes, that is factual when it comes to those handbags. But even like the Chanel double flaps, which are considered to be another big piece that typically holds its value, is very difficult to get the exact same amount, I find, back in what you purchased it for. So in today's video, I am going to give you some examples of this and explain a little bit more into why I feel this way. I wanted to take some time in just discussing how important it is when you purchase these handbags for it to be something that you really love, no matter what everybody else says, that you really love it. And one of the ways I find to do that the best is really take your time in choosing the handbags, because I find that the handbags that I just went and I spur of the moment saw it for a good deal and purchased it were the ones I ended up selling quickest. The ones that I really sat there for months and months and months and was literally like drooling over, like, oh my gosh, I really want to save for this handbags, are the ones that have truly stayed in my collection, even regardless of whether they're popular or unpopular anymore. They were just ones that really stood out to me and I really wanted for a long time. So I find that when I wait and really take that time to want and save and wish for that item, I'm much more likely to keep it long term. I also feel like if you're someone that purchases handbags and then sells them pretty quickly afterwards, that could work for you. Say that you purchased a really trendy handbag, it's really popular on the PreLoved market, and you want to keep it maybe for 2 months and then sell it again. Absolutely. I feel like that could work really well for you, of meeting exactly what you paid for it, or maybe even above, using a handbag as an investment in that case. However, if you are like me and you keep your handbags for maybe a couple of years before you decide that they may not fit in your lifestyle in the way they either previously had, or it just isn't really what you pictured it to be, and you're getting ready to sell it, you likely will not be able to get the same amount on the PreLoved market. Now, I am specifically talking about PreLoved markets that you take your handbag to them or sell your handbag to them and they sell it for you. I have not tried to personally sell my items, so that may change this discussion as well. So I am speaking specifically with PreLoved markets that I have personally used to sell my handbags. And if you guys know me, the most common one I work with is Fashionphile. And I want to go on here saying that I love Fashionphile. You guys know if I go PreLoved, that is my #1 PreLoved market to go to. However, I have also sold items back to them, and I wanted to talk to you just a little bit about that process, and most recently me going through that process. So let's go ahead and get started. So if you guys watched one of my last videos, I did one on my multi-pochette and being interested in selling my multi-pochette, and specifically to Fashionphile. The reason I was considering to sell this handbag is because I had purchased a couple of handbags this year, and I really was just wanting to make sure that I wasn't keeping handbags that I was no longer using as much, so I could hopefully afford to add more handbags into my collection that I would really love and use often. So I went to the Neiman Marcus Fashionphile selling studio. Recently opened here in Atlanta. It is in our Lenox Square Mall. Basically set up an appointment, you go in, they take your item, and then they basically will let you know, usually within about 15 to 20 minutes, about what the quote for your item is. So previously with Fashionphile, I've always submitted my quote online, and then they have taken about 1 to 2 days to get back to you, then you ship it to them. So what this is supposed to do is make that process a lot quicker. So you're supposed to be able to get your quote a lot sooner, and then you're supposed to also be able to get your payout a lot sooner, because they actually take it, authenticate it there for you. I went in there originally with my multi-pochette, as I was telling you guys, and I let them know that I was interested in then selling it. So they let me know in about 15 to 20 minutes how much the quote was for this bag. I want to say that they quoted me about $1,300 for this handbag, and when I just looked on the website, they are selling them for about $2,300. So many emotions came over me in that moment. Like, let's be honest, I know that they are a business and that they have to make a profit as well. I understand that completely. Personally, when it came to my multi-pochette, I just felt like I would get more use out of it than selling it for what I felt maybe wasn't as much as I would have wanted. So as far as that quote is concerned, I feel like there's a lot of factors that go into them quoting this. So basically, they quoted my item in very good condition. They have new, they have excellent, and they have very good. But I was very, very surprised that they quoted this one in very good condition. And the reason is I had the original packaging in the coin purse, you know, nowhere to the coin purse at all. I have taken very good care. I feel like, sure, there's some faint scratches on the hardware. And I do want to say this as well. I take care of my handbags, not because of the purpose to resell them, but just because I feel like when you are spending this amount of money, I myself personally want to take very good care of it because I have worked so hard on making the money to purchase these items. So I want to do my best to take care of them as well, even outside of reselling them. I'm just looking at the leather, even my pouches there. You'll see a little, maybe watermarks there, but otherwise, you know, to me, it was excellent condition. And when I asked them what made it not excellent condition, they said the bend right there, kind of that you see, is what made it very good instead of excellent condition. For me, that may be true. I'm not sure. They may consider that more of like a structure thing, perhaps. But to me, what it told me is that I really feel like it's difficult to get them to quote something in excellent condition there in the reselling studios. And please correct me if I'm wrong. If you guys have had this experience and they're like, oh my gosh, this is excellent, and it's not new with tags, correct me please, because I feel like it's hard for them, and not to fault the employees. I think they're just going based off of what they've been advised to do. I want to say they likely, unless it's tags attached, literally not really used at all. I want to say they probably are told to automatically quote items in very good condition, because obviously if they're quoting it in very good condition, they can pay you a little bit less for it. And then flip side of that, by being able to pay you a little bit less for the item, they are having a bigger profit margin when it comes to them than reselling it for that $2,300 mark. And let's just take a moment to look at one that they actually have on the website, because I wanted to validate my point a little bit further. So this one is in the khaki color, and it has creases, patina of vachetta on the exterior, the handle patina of vachetta, and the hardware, plating wear, and faint scratches. So I would say that mine pretty much fits that description. Yes, they mentioned the creasing on the back there that they had some concerns with. And then I just personally pointed out from what I saw in the handbag were maybe some faint scratches, maybe a little bit of patina. All of those I accounted for. And this one is going for $2,775, and that was marked down from the $2,920. So that kind of just goes to show you that I really feel like, of course, as I said, they are a business. So when you are thinking of reselling your handbags, just take into consideration that when you are reselling it, that they are also trying to get the biggest bang for their buck too when it comes to buying and then reselling items, which is why I feel like it is just not a great idea to purchase items that you really don't like for the sole purpose of reselling them, or that you think may be a trendy piece for you, because you may be a little bit disappointed when that time comes to go ahead and sell it on that pre-loved market. Now for this one, as you can tell, I kept it because I felt like I still had a lot more uses left out of it than to let it go for that amount of money. So I just wanted to show you guys a example, like real life happened to me example of purchasing an item and then going to resell it and maybe not getting what you were hoping to get out of it, further validating why buy items that you love, 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 not for an investment piece, because it's not going to hold an investment in the way that we would generally think investments are to run, which is to accelerate or increase in price over time, not decrease. So second example is a refresh program. So fashion files, specifically what that means is if you sell it back to them, because I know that's a big question that we have too. If I bought it from somewhere and I want to sell it back to that person, how does that work? So if you sell it back to fashion file within 0 to 3 months, they say, they will give you 75% of what you paid for the item. So let's go ahead and use my small classic flap that I unboxed for you guys, because that one is a good example of one that's within that window that they actually emailed me saying, hey, we will purchase this item back from you for, I want to say $6,562 to be exact, if you sell it back to us within the 0 to 3 month time frame. And keep in mind, the purchase price for this item was $8,750. So for me, I don't know that it makes sense to me at this point in my life for me to purchase an item for that much that I love, really want, and then only keep it for 0 to 3 months to only get that amount of money back for something. So I feel like if that works for you, great. And I'm really curious to get you guys' opinion on whether you feel like that is a fair compromise between the place you're buying it from and then selling it back to where you would feel comfortable losing that amount of money within 2 to 3 months time. Because keep in mind, that is what? Over $2,000 that I would be losing if I were to sell that back to them within that short amount of period. And to me, that further validates that these are not investments. We buy them because we love them. We buy them because they make us feel good. We buy them because they emote that emotion behind them. But I had to learn this hard lesson very early on. Don't confuse that is going to mean that you can buy these handbags and then within 3 months make twice the amount of money, or even make what you got back. So if you're having that expectation, unless you're selling it yourself, I have seen people do that, but you're likely not going to get the same amount that you purchased the item for, and you may even be losing thousands of dollars, which when I'm saying it out loud, really, really, really hurts, but that's why I keep these handbags, and that's why I love them, and that's why I make sure that I purchase items that I'm going to wear and going to want to keep for years to come. And again, this is for a Chanel classic flap that not only is supposed to hold its value, but was going for above retail on the PreLoved Market when I purchased it. And when it came for me selling it back, they weren't taking any of that into account. Again, I just feel like when you're purchasing these, keep all of this in mind, because you want to make sure that when you are purchasing something that you are getting what is fair, I feel like, in return. And when I find that I'm not getting what is fair in return, I am less likely to sell it. All about buying trendy pieces if that is your style and it's what you enjoy. But I found myself getting really disheartened that I was spending so much money on these handbags, and then when it came to sell them, if I love something more and I needed the additional money to purchase something else, I felt like really disheartened that I wasn't getting the amount of money, or even close to the amount of money that I purchased for a handbag. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Final summary is buy handbags because you love them. Don't necessarily expect the amount of money back that you got for a handbag, and don't consider them to be investment. Now, with that being said, though, of course, if I were to sell my whole handbag collection, of course I would get money to be able to put towards something. They are going to hold their value in that sense more than maybe a non-luxury brand item would hold their value. So there is some investment piece in that, but to think that I could sell all of my handbags and get exactly what I paid for them or more would be overly idealistic. That just wouldn't happen. So purchase handbags that you love, purchase handbags that either you plan to keep for a long time, so that when the time comes to sell them, you feel like you've really gotten the use out of it that you wanted to, and are willing to give it up in that way of feeling satisfied that you've used it, and you've used it as much as you want to use it, and now it's time for someone else to enjoy it. Or two, you sell them very quickly, meaning you purchase a handbag within a couple of months, you are ready to move on to the latest and greatest item. I feel like that is when this process works the best. I wanted to take some time to give you guys some real examples, because when I do videos like this, I never want to come on a platform such as YouTube and give a perspective that I cannot further back up with facts. So I hope that I have done that in this video as well. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I try to answer all of the comments that you guys leave below, and have a great rest of your week. Bye.